Patrick Bateman, American Psycho. Bateman, Patrick Bateman, the monstrous protagonist of American Psycho, is a man lost in a world of excess wealth, status, and violence. By day, he blends into a sea of identical yuppies, so generic they can't even tell each other apart. Names blur, identities are confused, and in a world this shallow, no one is truly seen. By night, Bateman indulges in brutal killings, feeding his need for control and superiority. But as his crimes escalate and his mental health spirals, something strange happens. He confesses to his lawyer, only to be laughed off as a joke. Paul Allen, the colleague Bateman supposedly murdered, was apparently seen in London. Allen's apartment, where Bateman left the bodies, is in pristine condition, now up for sale. But that doesn't mean the murders didn't happen. Sure, some of the more outlandish scenes in the movie are probably only happening in Bateman's mind. However, the reason no one knows Paul Allen is dead is the same reason Bateman suddenly has an alibi, because no one in this world has a real identity. His lawyer, like everyone else, mistakes both him and Paul Allen for someone else entirely. The landlady's eerie demeanor suggests that she knows Bateman did something. However, she doesn't call the cops because she values the resale price more than human lives. Bateman wins by escaping justice, not because he's clever, but because no one cares. His victory, however, is hollow. His final monologue reveals his torment, not guilt, but frustration. He is astounded and disappointed to realize that, even with extreme violence, he can do nothing to stand out. He's a nameless, rich suit, interchangeable with all the others. The world state in Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. There is no oppression in the world state, only compliance. No war, no struggle, only pleasure. And yet, its rule is more complete than any totalitarian regime. There is no need for force when the people have been conditioned to love their servitude from birth. Every human is engineered for a predetermined role. Happiness is mandatory. Soma, the perfect drug, ensures that even the slightest discomfort is erased before it can turn into dissent. Art, love, and freedom are forgotten relics, sacrificed for the illusion of stability. Thought, creativity, and ambition are unnecessary distractions. Those who begin to question the system are met not with punishment, but with gentle exile to islands where they cannot spread their discontent. The most chilling aspect of the world state's rule is its permanence. The people do not want to rebel. They cannot even imagine it. There is no hero here, no revolution, only an eternal, unshakable order. A world without pain. A world without suffering. A world without humanity. The pigs. Pigs in George Orwell's Animal Farm begin as revolutionaries, rallying the animals to overthrow their human oppressors. Led by Napoleon, they promise a utopia of equality and freedom. At first, the rebellion appears successful, with the farm running under the animals' collective rule. But as the pigs gain power, their true nature begins to surface. Napoleon, driven by greed and ambition, consolidates control through fear and manipulation. He uses propaganda, delivered by the eloquent squealer, and brute force, enforced by a loyal pack of dogs, to silence dissent. The animals' dream of equality shatters as the pigs rewrite the farm's commandments to serve their needs. Boxer, the hard-working horse, symbolizes the ultimate betrayal. His loyalty and tireless labor are rewarded not with care, but with a trip to the glue factory. Meanwhile, the pigs enjoy luxuries once reserved for the humans, becoming indistinguishable from them. The pigs' victory is absolute. By the story's end, they have betrayed every ideal of the revolution, cementing Orwell's grim message. The Iris. The Iris, from the horror anthology series Gemini Home Entertainment, created by Remy Abode, does not conquer. It does not negotiate. It does not even acknowledge the concept of opposition. It simply exists, and in existing, it consumes. Entire planets vanish into its grasp, their inhabitants lost to corruption before they even understand what is happening. The iris spreads like a disease, infiltrating technology, rewriting the laws of reality itself. Victims do not die, not immediately. Instead, they lose themselves piece by piece, their minds unraveling, their bodies twisting into something unrecognizable. Time becomes meaningless. Space bends in ways that defy understanding. Those who are not consumed outright are left trapped in their own decaying realities, forever lost to the influence of something beyond comprehension. It is not death. It is erasure. The iris is an inevitability, an extinction event masquerading as a presence, indifferent to the suffering it brings. Damian, the Antichrist in the Omen, is a child destined to bring about the apocalypse, adopted by an unsuspecting diplomat, Robert Thorne. Damian's true nature is masked by his innocent appearance. However, chaos and death follow him wherever he goes, often carried out by his demonic protectors. As Robert begins to uncover the truth about Damian's origins, he learns that the child is not human, but the literal spawn of Satan. Determined to stop him, Robert acquires sacred daggers, the only weapon capable of killing Damian. But before he can act, Robert is killed by the authorities, leaving Damian unharmed. The film's chilling conclusion shows Damian at Robert's funeral, holding hands with the President of the United States, smiling faintly as the camera lingers on his face. Damian's victory is absolute. Evil thrives, hidden in plain sight, ready to wield power and fulfill the biblical prophecy of the apocalypse. Lee Woo-jin in the movie Oldboy isn't just about making Dae-soo suffer. It's about total, calculated destruction. 15 years. That's how long Dae-soo is imprisoned without explanation. His wife is murdered, his daughter sent away, and he is framed for all of it. When he is released, he thinks he's free. He isn't. Woo-jin has simply opened the cage. Dae-soo follows the clues, searching for answers. Along the way, he meets Mido, a kind woman who becomes his only solace. They fall in love. And then, Woo-jin delivers the final blow. Mido is Dae-soo's daughter. Lee Woo-jin orchestrated everything. Their meeting, their intimacy, their trust. Decades ago, Dae-soo saw a boy and a girl making out at school. He didn't know they were siblings. He made an offhand remark, then left the city. The rumor spread, twisted until Lee Woo-jin's sister, believing herself ruined, took her own life. Now, Woo-jin has repaid the debt. Dae-soo crumbles. He begs, grovels, and even cuts out his own tongue, but it's meaningless. Lee Woo-jin has already won. His enemy is broken beyond repair, left to live with an unbearable truth. His revenge is complete, and with nothing left, he ends his own suffering. Dae-soo undergoes hypnosis to forget. He smiles in Mido's arms, until his face contorts, twisted with something unspoken. Because even if his mind forgets, some part of him will always know. And that is why Lee Woo-jin's victory will last forever. Death of Me. In the film Death of Me, directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, the true horror is not a monster, not a killer lurking in the shadows. It is fate itself. Christine is not hunted. She is not tricked. She is merely placed on a path that cannot be altered. Every attempt to escape is futile. Every revelation only reinforces the inevitable. The Islanders do not hate her. They do not wish to harm her. They simply do what must be done again and again, ensuring that the cycle is never broken. Christine's struggle is not against a tangible enemy, but against inevitability itself. Her mind fractures as she pieces together the truth she has already lost again and again and again. Nurse Ratched, the cold and calculating antagonist of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, written by Ken Kesey, is the head nurse of a psychiatric ward. She rules with an iron grip, using manipulation and humiliation to maintain control over the patients. Her power lies not in physical strength, but in her ability to exploit the vulnerabilities of those under her care. When Randall McMurphy arrives, he challenges her authority, inspiring the other patients to resist her oppressive regime. However, Nurse Ratched is ruthless in quashing rebellion. She isolates McMurphy, punishes him with electroshock therapy, and ultimately has him lobotomized, reducing him to a shell of his former self. Her victory isn't just over McMurphy. It's over hope itself. The ward remains under her control, and her methods of oppression endure. Nurse Ratched represents the crushing power of institutional authority, a system designed to break individuality and suppress dissent.